Hello and welcome to The Healing Power of Art. This is going to be a three-part series where I talk about all the benefits of art and how to include them easily into your homeschool and why you should. As a veteran homeschooling mom myself, I understand that no one wants a better education for your children than you do. And that is why you have made so many sacrifices in finances. You sacrifice most of the time a second income. You've made sacrifices of your time, space in your house, sometimes relationships because people don't understand it. You also probably sacrifice self-care on a regular basis. But as a homeschooling mom before you, I've traveled that road, and I want you to know that yes, it is a long road. It's sometimes lonely, it's oftentimes challenging, but deep down, it is worth it. You need to understand that this is for a season, that you have this small window of opportunity to educate your children. And not just to educate them, but to also pour your heart into them, pour your values into them, get the Word of God into them, help them become peaceful and loving and giving human beings. So even though homeschooling is hard, I believe that if you do it the right way for your family, you will never regret it. And so I want to share a bit of my heart in regards to art and also the healing powers of art and why it is essential that you include it in your homeschool or even simply your home. If you don't have time to make it part of your homeschool program, then I'm going to give you some simple ways to just include it on a regular basis in your home. I do want to start off by saying, disclaimer, I am not a doctor, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a therapist. I am simply a mother and an artist who understands firsthand the restorative powers of a creative practice. So I am not offering medical or psychological or psychiatric advice or claims. All I can do is share from experience what I know and have learned over the years, but I'm also going to share with you some findings from actual doctors and therapists. But if you have a child or teen that suffers from any kind of sickness or disease or mental illness, please discuss this with your doctor. You know, there are a multitude of factors that can contribute to your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Nutrition is a big one. There's physical exercise. There's our home environments. There's being out in nature, praying. The relationships, the people that we are around can contribute to our well-being or take away from our well-being. Those are just a few. But the one that I want to talk to you about is one that I happen to have quite a bit of experience with, and that is art and creativity. But first, I want to read some findings. I read this earlier this year in a series that I recorded called How to Get Started with Homeschool Art. If you haven't watched that series, please go to our YouTube channel. It's YouTube/Masterpiece Society. You will want to get all those tips and tricks for getting started with homeschool art. But I read a lot more of this. I just want to read the key findings from this study because, you know, 2020 was a year, but the events from 2020, not just the pandemic, but all of the tensions throughout the world, they are causing repercussions that we're still dealing with today. And so as parents, we need to make the necessary adjustments in our homes and our homeschools so that we can adapt to the needs and enhance the well-being of our families, not just our kids and teens, but also maybe yourself, your own needs, your marriage. So let me read this to you real quick. The name of this study is Anxiety in America at an All-Time High. So I'm just going to read the key findings. It was done in June of 2022. And it says a majority of Americans, 51%, experience pandemic fatigue or worry, burnout extremely often or very often. 85% of parents have a child who has experienced some negative effects on their mental health since 2020, and only 4% say their child hasn't developed some sort of negative coping mechanisms. So, that was like 2020 is 1 year, but like I said, this has been a years long battle with all the things that we're dealing with. So I also read a little bit from a book called The Art Therapy Resource Guide. I want to read to you from that again and a little bit more than I read in the previous series. The visual arts, drawing, painting, and sculpture are powerful and effective forms of communication that have been used to convey humanity's collective history, ideas, feelings, dreams, and aspirations for centuries. Art has always been used to chronicle and portray a wide range of emotions and experiences, from profound joy to deepest sorrow, from triumph to trauma. The creative process of art making is healing and life enhancing, and it is a potent form of communication. The creative process exists within every individual to promote growth, self-expression, emotional reparation, conflict resolution, and transformation. Through art making, you may find relief from overwhelming emotions, crises, trauma, and discover insights about yourself. Achieve an increased sense of well-being, enrich your daily life, or experience personal change. It is a way to make sense of that which is painful, to create personal meaning, to enhance wellness, and to become whole. Catharsis, literally meaning cleansing or purging, in therapy refers to the expression and discharge of strong emotions for relief. Making a drawing, a painting, a sculpture, or another art form can be cathartic, in that it provides relief from painful or troubling feelings. The actual process of art making can also alleviate emotional stress and anxiety by creating a physiological response of relaxation or by altering mood. For example, it is known that creative activity can actually increase brain levels of serotonin. Other people experience art as a form of meditation, finding inner peace and calm through art expression. The repetitive, self-soothing qualities of painting, drawing, or working with clay may induce the relaxation response, a reduction in heart rate and respiration related to stress reduction. So I also wanted to read to you some of the benefits of art. So number one is absolute joy. There is an undeniable sense of joy and pleasure that comes from creating something with your own hands. And it's not the outcome that brings the joy, although that can bring joy. Sometimes it can bring frustration if you have a perfectionist child or if you are a perfectionist, but it's the process that brings so much joy and releases that catharsis like we were talking about earlier. Number two is self-confidence. As your kids and teens begin to create and continue creating on a regular basis, if you and other people will encourage them and praise their efforts, they will develop a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment, which will in turn give them confidence and assurance in other areas of life. Number three is art provides an outlet for self-expression. Making art and using their creative juices in other ways allows kids and teens to express feelings and emotions that lie buried deep within them. This is a way that they can express themselves without even having to talk. It's a way to communicate and express yourself non-verbally. Sometimes it's hard to find the words for what you're thinking, how you're feeling. So this is an outlet for expression. Their creations are extensions of themselves, and as they are allowed to continue their creative journey, they can continue to give voice to those inner workings, and it becomes quite liberating. Number four is self-awareness. Experimenting with art and other areas of creativity allow kids and teens to discover which processes and techniques they like and don't like, which habits and practices work well for them, and which ones don't work at all. They learn what motivates and incentivizes them, what brings pleasure, what discourages them. The creative journey is a continual journey of self-awareness and self-discovery. Benefit number 5 is cultural awareness. The society that we live in today is amazingly diverse. Culture is all around, and it makes a fabulous subject matter for art. And while creating, kids have an opportunity to learn and hopefully begin to understand cultures and people that are different from themselves. Number 6 is innovation and resourcefulness. So by allowing our kids to express themselves through their own creativity and giving them the freedom to take risks, they develop a sense of innovation and resourcefulness that will be with them throughout their adult life. They work hard and they finally bring that piece to fruition. And so through that, they overcome challenges, overcome discouragement and struggle. So number 7 is improved academic performances. So there have been plenty of studies throughout the years, and I've collected dozens of them, that talk about the correlation between creating art and improved academic performance in the areas of math, language arts, and science. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because art helps you learn to think and process in new and different ways. So it does, that right brain helps the left brain perform better, the whole brain working together. Number 8 is a way to decompress. And we talked about this earlier. We know that kids and teens can be just as stressed as we adults can get. So a heavy school load, adding extracurricular activities, adding in co-ops or youth group at church, sports, all these different things can contribute to them becoming overloaded and majorly stressed out. So the act of creating art helps them to pull away from the spinning world and just rest and reset their minds, keep their hands busy, and they can just be in the moment and experience a sense of timelessness as they create and relax. Number 9 is a sense of freedom. Doing something that you enjoy, we all know that that is very liberating. So as your kids and teens continue to find pleasure and fulfillment in their art, it will be as if a whole new world of opportunities has opened up to them. They will feel free to continue exploring, continue pushing themselves, and continue growing in their abilities as they head into adulthood. And then finally, and like I said, I'm only giving you 10, but there are plenty more of benefits. But this could also be a possible career path or their life's calling. If you have a kid with an unusual aptitude for art or creativity, maybe it's an all-consuming passion for him or her. Perhaps it's part of their life purpose. So I would suggest that you do all you can do to help propel them forward in the area of art or creativity. And this will help them develop their gifts, develop their talents, and possibly find God's plan and purpose for their lives through art. And I already hear some of you complaining. And I want to talk about that tomorrow too. Some of you will say, I know art is important, but I don't even know where to start. Or I'm not artsy, I don't know how to teach my kids, or I haven't got a creative bone in my body. Or maybe you say, I want to do art, but I can't stand the mess, and I don't know how to organize all the supplies, and I don't even know what supplies I need. Or maybe you don't have time, or you are homeschooling multiple ages of children, and you're like, you have no idea how to fit all that in. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that too. So just calm down, take a deep breath. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But for now, leave me a comment below and let me know what your biggest challenge with incorporating art in your homeschool is. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.